Sagging roof typically means that you have inadequate substrate or decking, or too thin, or it could be delaminating. There could be a leak on the roof, and over time that the decking has rotted out, and so just the weight of that roof system is causing it to bow in the middle. And typically that's an indication that you probably need to have the decking replaced. There are also situations where, just depending on the coat at the time, the decking itself that was used is fairly thin, and the spacing of the rafters. Once you get, if 24 inches or more spacing, the wider those are, the thicker the decking needs to be in order for it not to bow. So I've seen cases where that was the question, was the bowing, and it was fairly minor, but it was, you had the spaces of the rafters. It was wide spaces and relatively thinner than we use right now for the decking, but the roof was still performing fine, and it would still hold the weight of the worker and his tools. And so in those cases, keep an eye on it, but it's still performing properly, and you wouldn't necessarily need to replace it just because you saw some of that. It could be indicative of wood rot, one, and so is there water getting into your attic, and then over time that can cause the moisture buildup, could cause mold, and so there's safety concerns there. That's why you'd want to have somebody come check. And if it is rotting, then eventually that will continue to come in, and then you've got a pretty big hole in your roof. I hope no one's just normally getting up and walking around up there, but you probably want to stay off your roof in general. But if you're up there and there's sagging areas, I wouldn't advise walking on those. Falling through could be quite painful. I don't know that I've ran into anything that extreme. I suppose that could happen if it was ignored. It would take quite a bit of looking the other way, for it to fall in that bad. That's really badly aged and lots of time. There aren't any. I haven't ever ran into a situation where it happened all of a sudden. And if it did, it probably would be more of the way that it was manufactured, the way that it was built, rather than like it couldn't hold the weight. But I haven't seen anything just all of a sudden my roof's caved in.